CEMS founders, CEMS members, rectors, deans, partners, professors, dear friends, good afternoon. It is such a great honor for me, as Director General of ESADE, to welcome you to this 25th anniversary celebration of the birth of CEMS. This is our jubilee, our silver jubilee. So, of course, we are very proud to host these annual events. And we thank the CEMS Executive Committee for entrusting this important celebration to ESADE. We are especially delighted to organize this anniversary edition for 4 specific reasons. First, we feel that people who had the ample vision to create this program and to imagine and launch a business school alliance should receive public recognition and thanks. And we are going to honor them here today. Remember that 25 years ago, the Berlin Wall was still intact, that today's European model was still very undeveloped, and in 1988, who considered international mobility to be of much relevance. Secondly, and very top of mind for us, is that ESADE was one of the 4 schools, the others were HEC and the universities of Bocconi and Cologne, that thought up the original idea of the CEMS Alliance. Let's applaud them, please. And the formal alliance agreement was signed right here in ESADE by some of the people who are sitting here now. They are in the first row. That make us feel very proud and significant hosts. Third, this celebration is also a way of congratulating ourselves for our good teamwork. If CEMS has worked well for 25 years, that means that business schools can successfully work together to create value-added programs and joint offers. I think our students are also aware of this team spirit when they study at our schools. And lastly, because the Master in International Management has an excellent future. CEMS today is writing its own history by celebrating 25 years of life. But it does so with a top quality management program, highly valued by the market as current rankings indicate. As we know, today CEMS is not just an alliance of European management schools. It has exceeded the dreams of its founders. And today's academic members are not just limited to Europe, and of course, our corporate partners are, many of them, multinational organizations. CEMS is really global today. We hope that your stay with us will be interesting and, as always, give us all an opportunity to discuss, contrast views, and learn things that are of mutual interest. I know that you have had an opportunity of discovering our international campus in Sant Cugat, dedicated to innovation and entrepreneurship. You may have been able to take in the atmosphere of the corridors, a mixture of youth, talent, the urge to learn from each other, and the hope of building a better future for us all. As I am sure is the same in your own schools, ESADE's door will always be open to ideas and proposals from other CEMS members. I want now to publicly thank Triona Campbell from CEMS and Gloria Mora and her public relations team in ESADE for their extremely hard work in organizing everything involved in an event such as this. They started working over a year ago, and I know that their effort and professional teamwork will make all the events today and tomorrow a great success. Thank you very much. Let me also make a special mention of our annual events sponsor, ABB, for their repeated generosity. Thank you. This year, Barcelona City Hall has also collaborated, and again, we are grateful for their support. We have a very full agenda, so I will end here. But just let me repeat what an honor it is to have you here today. Welcome to you all. I hope you enjoy the events and the celebration, and that you will also have time to enjoy the vibrant and beautiful city of Barcelona, even though we are having unusually cold weather. And now it is my pleasure to yield the floor to the same chamber, Professor Thomas Bigger. Thank you.
Dear Professor Eugenia Bieto, Director General of ESADE, thank you very much for your kind words and for your warm welcome to Barcelona. Thank you also and your whole team for the excellent organization of this anniversary event. Everything worked perfect, and we know you even worked hard to make maybe even snow possible here in Barcelona. Dear representatives of the CEMS member schools, dear representatives of the CEMS corporate and social members, dear CEMS students, alumni, dear hosts of ESADE. A very warm welcome to the 25th Assembly General of CEMS, the Global Alliance in Management Education. The 25th anniversary means that we have something to celebrate. Therefore, we divided our Assembly General in two parts. A formal part with the official agenda points, and the second part to commemorate the history of CEMS and the people responsible for its success. I would like to already now express my thanks to the CEMS Central Office who put together the wonderful commemorative brochure which you got at the entrance or which you can get at the exit of this session. The CEMS year 2012-2013 started in the snow of St. Gallen with the annual events. Important achievements of the last year were, among others, the start of the new relaunched alumni organization. I would like to thank its president, Guillaume Clossat, for all the work he and his team put into this organization, which soon will be a leading network of global managers who all hold a CEMS MIM degree. We are thankful that Carlo Calucci, the longest-standing member of the group of CEMS committee chairs, accepted to become the CEMS representative on the board of our alumni organization. Again, the CEMS MIM was successfully ranked by Financial Times. However, like expected, we could not hold our position between ranks 1 and 3 eternally. Luckily, we were surpassed by many CEMS schools. Even before the latest ranking, however, with the still respectable rank 7, the CEMS academic directors under the chairwoman Dorte Salzkopf-Iversen started off innovations to keep our flagship program on the forefront of pre-experience management education. The Quality Assurance and Membership Committee, with Chair Eric Warts, further developed standards and quality measures with a special focus on student selection and career services. The Research and Doctoral Education Committee, with Chair João Amora de Matos, is strengthening the research cooperation between CEMS schools. Successfully, it held a special reception at the occasion of the Academy of Management Conference in Orlando this summer. This to position our network also among faculty members. The Globalization Committee, with Darren Meister as a chair, did prepare a thorough strategy for further globalization and a new cooperation strategy for Africa. Both strategies found full approval by the CEMS rectors and presidents in their CEMS strategy board meeting at Ivy this summer. We are proud that CEMS continuously is finding interest of prestigious new intercontinental partner universities. This year, we will see the arrival of the application of Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez in Santiago de Chile. Finally, the Corporate Partner Committee under Chair Audrey Gleck did elaborate a new strategy to market and acquire new corporate members. My special thanks here also go to the CEMS Secretary General, Nicole Defontaine. Her team and our new strategy advisor for corporate relations, Philippe Louvet, were preparing important initiatives which will take full effect in the year 2014. We are fully aware that the volatile economic climate with still important global unbalances and a more and more worrying flood of liquidity in all major financial systems forces companies to prepare for the worst and cut costs. CEMS always suffers a certain cyclical fluctuation in the number of members, of corporate members, through times like this. Luckily, the loss of members in 2013 was by far smaller than in previous cycles, and CEMS is still in a healthy financial state. The CEMS MIM, meanwhile, grew to a new record number of 950 graduates. Tomorrow we will see the biggest graduation ceremony ever. To further improve quality for our students, the executive board today decided to introduce a very modest student fee coming in effect beginning of 2015. I would like to express my thanks also to Pierre Semal, our treasurer and my deputy, for his careful and successful work on the CEMS budget. Altogether, our alliance is well on track. The goal set 10 years ago to get from 400 graduates to 1,000 has been achieved as of its 25th birthday. Most importantly, this has been achieved without compromising on quality. Our network of prestigious member universities is growing, and we all feel that CEMS truly has become a network of trust with rectors, deans, program managers, faculty members, administrators and coordinators, corporate representatives, students and alumni who meet their peers and develop new initiatives. I would also like to express my thanks to the people behind the scene who make all this success possible. The staff at our central office under the leadership of our executive director, Roland Siegers. It was his first full year in this position after he took office in September 2012. And I dare to say it has been a very successful year. My thanks also go to the CEMS committee chairs, the treasurer, the secretary general, who all work together as the core leadership team of your organization of CEMS. And also thanks to all of you for your continuous support of CEMS. I hereby declare the Assembly General 2013 officially opened. Thank you very much. I now ask Roland Siegers to come to the floor and lead us through the official points on the agenda.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's my honor and my pleasure to guide you through the first part of the evening, which is the formal part of the General Assembly of CEMS, where we do take the legally binding votes for the association and share an update with you of the achievements of the year 2013. So, coming first to the introduction of votes on new members. New members are academic members and corporate members, universities and companies who all contribute together to CEMS And the first part is new academic members. As already introduced by Chairman Biga, we are today proposing to you the vote on Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez in Santiago de Chile. And on the formal part, you have your voting slides. If you do not have them, you should maybe still rush out, because there you have the legal votes where you can vote yes, amongst other options. So I would like to give the floor to Professor Carlos Alzúa, who is the academic director of Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez in Santiago de Chile, to introduce his institution to you. There's a click.
1, 2, 1, 2. Can you hear me? Is it working? Yes, it is working. Okay. Thank you very much for having us here. It's a pleasure to be here. It's a privilege to be here with all of you. I just would like to say, though, that if we were in Santiago, it would be a lot warmer. If we were in spring. Otherwise, it's okay. Just a very, very quick review. Some of you might have seen it already about our university, all the way down there. That's one of our campuses. Actually, that's our main campus in Santiago de Chile. And that's the same building, but looking up the Andes, our main campus is right on the foothills of the Andes. Santiago is in a valley of about 500 meters high. The campus, this building is around 1,100 meters, so we're overlooking the whole city of Santiago. For those of you that haven't had the chance to look at Wikipedia, Santiago is a long and narrow, Chile is a long and narrow country, about 700,000 square kilometers, only roughly about 17, 18 million people, roughly about 6.5, 7 million people live in Santiago. And this is the brief history of our university. We're celebrating our 60th anniversary as a business school, which for you Europeans, for the Europeans, that's not a long time. For us, it is a long time, so we're very proud of the 60 years. And we're also proud of the rankings. I know, you know, we academic members, rankings don't matter, right? But if we make it all right, we like to show it off, so there it is. We've been generally considered among the top 1, top 2, and the top 5 best business schools in Latin America. This is from America Economia. The previous 2 years we were ranked number 1. This year we're ranked number 2. And we're also, of course, accredited by ASCSB, by AMBA, and we're working really hard to get the triple crown now with EQUIS accreditation. Now, this is how our programs work. We have undergraduate, of course, Masters in Science, MBAs, PhDs, and the way the Masters in International Management works for us is as part of the pre-experience master's degree program. We already have several of those. We've been growing. Actually, we are now the largest business school in Chile. The professor ratings are good because we have good professors. Well, except this Alzúa guy, but otherwise they're very good professors. This is the different campuses we have. We have a campus in Peñalolén. We have one on the coast. And then we have downtown Santiago, and we have a little campus in Miami. Just for you program managers or those of you students who like to promote coming to visit our campus, your classes will be over here in the Peñalolén campus overlooking the mountains, the Andes. And this is how the master's degree works. What happens in Chile is that to get the official title of engineer, business engineer, it's what it's called, you need to have 5 years, and so many of our students pursue a master's degree. We already have several of those, and of course we're hoping to be able to add the MIM, the CEMS MIM, into our curriculum. This is the students that we have right now. And this is some of the corporate partners that we already have at the University of Adolfo Ibáñez. So I'm not sure how we're doing with time, but while you vote, I would like to show you a little video about Chile so you can tell your students. You're very, very welcome to visit us. We would love to have you all the way down there. Being upside down doesn't feel as bad as you might think. So, please, while you vote, you may. Is it working? Or maybe not. Well, if...
Sorry.
Thank you very, very much, Carlos. And let me say, on a personal note, I had the pleasure and honor to be on the review committee that visited Santiago de Chile, together with Darren Meister. And I think, Darren, I can speak on your behalf also when I say that we were very, very impressed by this application, not only because of the beauty of the country and the campus, but also because there is a fantastic leadership team at Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez. Dean Manola Sanchez and her team, I'm convinced that they will be a great CEMS member. So I would recommend that you do vote indeed in favor. This comes, by the way, with a vote from the executive board. You're aware that the executive board also has to take a vote prior to you, where we need a 4/5 majority. The executive board voted unanimously in favor of UAI. Now we come to the corporate partners. New corporate partners, despite some of those that we have lost, as the chairman introduced, we do have new applications this year of 3 corporate partners that would like to become members of the CEMS Association. Again, they have been introduced to the executive board, and the executive board has approved their vote. So we ask you now to ratify this vote of the executive board, and I will briefly introduce those 3 companies to you. Integration Consulting is a company that is introduced to us by GV, our Brazilian member school in Sao Paulo. Integration Consulting is a very interesting company. It is a very young company, which has 250 consultants, but a very, very solid growth strategy. So already they have 6 offices in Latin America and Europe. They have many, many projects already delivered in many countries, which is why we believe, and indeed GV believes, that they're a perfect fit for CEMS. They have growth strategies and growth wishes that they hope to accomplish with the help of our alumni also. So you see that the internationalization process of this company has already led them to participate as a new-to-be member in a great corporate benchmarking meeting in Europe, which I'm going to introduce to you in a minute. So this is Integration Consulting from Brazil and going out to the world. Second company I would like to introduce to you is Mondi Group. Mondi Group is introduced by Wirtschaftsuniversität Wien in Austria. Mondi is a packaging and paper group with a variety of activities around this topic in more than 30 countries with more than 25,000 employees. And also Mondi has growth targets. They are looking at Central Europe, certainly, but also Russia and South Africa, which again fits very well with the strategy of CEMS to embrace Africa, which I'm going to introduce in a minute to you. Mondi operates out of 2 geographical divisions, Europe and then South Africa. And Mondi is certainly also very, very keen on hiring our graduates, not only from those regions, but also for further growth in the years to come. The third company which I would like to introduce to you is Salesforce.com, which is introduced by University College Dublin, UCD. Salesforce is originally headquartered in the US, in San Francisco, and is a young company too. And since 1999, it's developed into a worldwide leader in enterprise cloud computing. Very hot topic, great growth market certainly also. It's quoted on the New York Stock Exchange. It has a capitalization of more than $20 billion. And it is also operating on a global scale on 5 continents and 24 countries. So to explain the business in a couple of words, Salesforce provides social mobile cloud technology to help companies connect with customers, partners, employees in innovative ways. Sounds very much what we do in CEMS too. So these are the 3 companies that, despite all economic turmoil, do think that CEMS membership is a great way to pursue in the growth strategies. And we certainly recommend to you that you do approve the membership of these 3 companies to CEMS. And you would find them on the slips in your voting packages that you would have received at the entrance. Now we come to the renewals of the corporate representatives on the CEMS boards. You know that every academic institution, every member school has a vote and a representative both in the strategic board and the executive board. As much as we would love to, we cannot have all 60 plus corporate partners represented in the board. So CEMS selects among those 60 those corporate representatives which are willing and able to contribute with their expertise to the board. And you, the General Assembly, approve our proposals for those board members who represent the community of corporate partners in the boards. So the strategic board, the group of deans and rectors and senior corporate partners, we are introducing to you today Ms. Atsuko Yamakawa. Ms. Atsuko Yamakawa is Deputy Director of Nomura Securities Company Limited, which is a company which is based in Japan, but which has global operations too. Our member Nomura, and you do find a short bio of Ms. Yamakawa in the meeting file. We are also proposing to you the re-election of corporate representatives to the executive board. These are, in alphabetical order, Audrey Clegg, Group Vice President of ABB Asia Brown Boveri, with CEMS for a long time and the chair of our corporate partner committee. We certainly would not want to lose Audrey. So here I don't really think you have a choice. So please do vote in favor of Audrey. We would also like to ask you to renew the mandate of Mr. Sander Nieuwenhuizen. Sander is the Vice President Recruitment of Shell International and is also renewing his second mandate now as a member of the Executive Board. Furthermore, we would like you to vote favorably for Mr. Ove Munk-Ovesen, who is Senior Advisor Global Talent Development of Novo Nordisk. Novo Nordisk, a company operating out of Denmark and the world, corporate partner also of Copenhagen Business School specifically, and the CEMS Alliance. Furthermore, Mr. Luc Zeukens, who is the Harley Procter Marketing Director for Procter & Gamble France Benelux. Luc is also asking for the renewal of his mandate to the CEMS board. And Ms. Elke Tam, who is the head of group talent of Wolseley PLC in the UK, who is also asking for the renewal of her mandate. Elke, you may also recall, has been working in the CEMS Alumni Association previously in CEMS and is now a member of the executive board. So you would find those names in, again, your voting slips with the possibility to express your vote. Please vote. And when you have done so, please fold your papers, and then there will be afterwards helpers who will collect those voting slips into the boxes and we will count them. So there you find the colleagues from the head office who you can give your voting slips to. Since this is going to take a little bit of time, so we will collect your votes, and then we will count your votes and announce the results after the session that comes now. So, as you know, for those of you who are there for longer, during the counting of the votes, it is again my pleasure to introduce you to some of the highlights of the year 2013, the CEMS year 2013. What has happened? What have we done? What are some of the key achievements of the past academic year, 2013? So, for those of you who've been here, probably give you a little bit more time to give back the votes. There is Denisa, Rita, make sure that your votes are collected. One more in the front. And here is one in the front. Thank you very much. So, for those of you who have been here last year, you will be surprised that much of what I am going to introduce you to resembles what I have introduced to you last year. I do this with a purpose. Last year, the chairman asked me to introduce to you the Strategic Agenda 2020, our strategic objectives of the CEMS Alliance for the next 7, then 8 years. Today, it is my wish to show how we deliver on those strategic objectives, which is why I will run you through the things that we have announced last year to show you how we start delivering on these promises on the Agenda 2020. The key strategic priority of CEMS is and remains and should be the accomplishment of the globalization of CEMS, which is not only adding more members outside of Europe, it is changing our state of mind and also changing our operations. And that is not only a very exciting process, it is also a process which will take a long time and which we are boarding on full speed in the year 2013 and 14. How do we do this? Quality in diversity is our motto, which remains when we look at all our stakeholders. Quality in diversity of schools, of corporate partners, of students, and certainly also of alumni. We want to create more visibility in the corporate and academic world for what we do and why we do it. And we want to show that we can act as a community responsibly in local communities and also take responsibility for the world in our actions. Now, how do we deliver on quality in diversity? Well, there is a quantity, certainly, that we are growing. So we have, as the chairman already announced, nearly 1,000 graduates tomorrow, of which I believe 700 will be attending the ceremony. We have more than 1,050 selected students in the academic year 13-14, and I believe we will have 1,200 students in the academic year 14-15. This is an amazing achievement, and you see that it goes only upwards. We may, at a certain point in time, deliberately stop this growth by investing even more in selectivity, and I'm coming to that in a minute. But we are very, very happy that this program has such an appeal in the world, as we can say it now, with great future talent, students and graduates. Now, in 2002, we asked, this magic 1,000 student mark has been reached. What now? And in 2013, we can answer, after we have consulted with the board and also yesterday and today taken decisions, that we will have a strategy which we call From Good to Excellent, which we will roll out over the next year, 2014, to say, yes, we have reached our quantitative target. Now we will redefine our qualitative targets to say, good is not good enough for CEMS. We want to be excellent in all of what we do. And the focus of this will be on the selectiveness of the students in the selection processes at the schools. And this means that it's not 99% that we're aiming at, it's 100%. And I would like to remind you at this point in time that the selection criteria are not only great academic record, grades, etc. These selection criteria do also include integrity, maturity, and desire to give back as a member in society. So going to the diversity part of this equation, you will see that still that is at the moment the makeup of the alliance. There is a huge focus on students coming from Europe, but what you do also see is that we are increasing student enrollment outside of Europe, which is the target, and which is certainly what our corporate partners are requesting from us. And that is where, if we will still have a growth, it will be in those regions in Latin America, with Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez, hopefully, in Asia, and future on, and I'll come to that, also in other regions of the world. So what we have achieved in the past year, we have defined the new CEMS MIM learning objectives. We have now common learning objectives which are valid for all graduates that graduate from this program. The learning objectives, being given that they are valid for all students, can be achieved, and that is one of the beauties of CEMS, in very different ways by the different institutions and through very different educational paths, because we do know that the power is also in the diversity of the institutions. So the ways within which the CEMS graduate will reach these learning outcomes in the different universities on the 4 continents will be very difficult. Difficult, yes, on purpose, different also, but they will all lead to quality, and they will all lead to the same kind of certified quality outcome for our corporate partners. So what we aim to do by this is to make the program, and by this the students, fit to embrace future challenges of change and uncertainty. Audrey is calling this today the new normal. That's probably what it is, uncertainty and change. And I believe if it's not our graduates who are able to embrace that, who should be? So we believe that the new learning outcomes and also the new curricular elements which will come from this, seminar in responsible global leadership and the new core course in global management practice, will add to just this goal. Here they are. So Thomas mentioned already the Financial Times and place 7, which we all believe is still a decent result. But what we believe we should be doing, and what you will see us doing, is to change our overall approach to communication. Yes, we have been communicating about our successful result in the past years. That has helped us, certainly, but what we will do is to change from communicating about the Financial Times ranking to communicating through the Financial Times and other media about the beauties of this association, about the value proposition of this degree, and about the many unique stories that we can tell about this association, so that being ranked 3rd or 7th doesn't really make a great difference, because what we really believe in is the strengths of this network and the strengths of this degree. And this leads me directly to some of the elements of the visibility strategy. So, visibility in the corporate world, we would like to highlight some of the corporate members who have contributed the most in the past year to CEMS. So you know the different elements of the program: selection juries, block seminars, and I'll come to business projects in a moment. We would like to highlight the great contribution, not only on this slide, but certainly of L'Oréal, who has contributed a lot to block seminars, who has contributed a lot to selection juries, but also Henkel, Shell, Deloitte, Société Générale, Novo Nordisk. Now, these are actually our executive board members, so you made a wise choice in choosing those people. They are apparently also bringing their corporations closer into the program. We would also like to thank, on the business project side, on the skills seminar side, again, we have L'Oréal, we have McKinsey, we have Google, who's a great contributor. Our students really love to work with Google. You see Kone, Nokia, PwC, Siemens, so many companies who contribute, and some more than others for good reasons. And we would just like to seize this opportunity to say thank you very, very much. We do know that it's a lot of time you invest in our program, and we do sincerely hope that that does create benefit for your corporations. And we do have internships also. You have again Henkel, L'Oréal, Google, Deutsche Bank, I'm happy to see, and also Procter & Gamble, who offer a lot of internships to our students. Now, it all culminates in the magnificent career forum that Corvinus University, together with us, every year runs very, very smoothly in Budapest. So you have a couple of impressions here. This year, we had 550 pre-scheduled interviews in Budapest. That's was 2 weeks ago. We had 540 students participating in 23 skill seminars running in parallel on the Friday before the plenary event. We had 900 students and alumni applying or walking into the walk-in stands. And we had 240 corporate partner representatives at this career forum. A fantastic event. And what does make us proud is that the corporate partners are telling us this is not only one of the biggest corporate recruitment events, it certainly is the most international in Europe, and it's the most fun to go to. And we're very happy about that. We ran the virtual career fair, which is the correspondent of the physical career fair, but on the web. We had some more numbers here. That was, I believe, in April. So for those companies who have different strategies, who maybe do not do physical interviews so much, but really like to engage in the new e-world of recruitment. This was with 6 of our corporate partners. And then we did run 2 very successful corporate benchmarking meetings. This, we believe, is a fairly unique offer, and our corporate representatives confirm this to us, where we bring the corporate representatives together to talk about topics of human resource management, for example, amongst colleagues, even amongst competitors, to exchange best practices, to exchange current trends. We had again, our event at Roland Garros, the tennis event in Paris. We had 30 participants from 13 corporate partners, which was in May, courtesy of and supported by CEMS corporate partner Unibail Rodamco. And we had, for the first time, I believe, a corporate benchmarking event in Germany. And what a fantastic event that was. Kurosh, where are you? Kurosh from Henkel. Fantastic event. I participated. Thank you so much to Henkel for pulling this off. Many, many, many alumni there to help organize, to chip in, to get a glimpse of what CEMS is up to. And University of Cologne team, fantastic also what they did to do this 2-day event. Very inspiring. It was on the topic of talent in emerging markets. Certainly a topic which will be with us for the next years to come. And that was really, really inspiring, and you may have seen some video footage or some publications from this event, which we seriously enjoyed, and we hope Henkel and University of Cologne did too. So thanks for that. And 2014, coming back to the delivery side of the Agenda 2020, we are looking into repeating 2 corporate benchmarking meetings again, and we might do these in Asia and the Middle East, walking away from Europe, but certainly carrying Europe with us. We are currently looking at our corporate partnership base and also at our universities in the regions to help us do such similar successfully corporate benchmarking meetings in those 2 regions in 2014. Now, visibility in the corporate world is incredibly important. I hope I won't be too pretentious here if I say we might scale it up 1 level higher and say we do actually need visibility in the entire world. So what we are going to do is that we will launch a corporate partner recruitment campaign. Thomas briefly introduced this to you. So this means that we will have a list of prospect companies that we will build together with the universities. We will look at which could be the best fit for CEMS, and then we will engage with the Alumni Association and see which of our alumni are working in some of the companies that, for some peculiar reason, have not yet decided to become CEMS member. And together with the alumni and the companies, and also with the support of our current corporate partners, approach these prospects with a clear value proposition with new communication material to say, here's why you want to become a corporate member of CEMS now. And the objectives we have set ourselves is to reach 70 corporate partners by the end of the year, which is roughly +8, +10. And I would already now like to say thank you to Philippe Louvet, who is advising us in this program, in this campaign, with his long expertise, not only working with CEMS, but also working in a company. Now, about the visibility in the rest of the world, we now have some possibilities to do some marketing activities that we probably did not have before. I will praise you already now. I hope you deserve it. We have a fantastic PR agency that we've acquired a couple of months back. And you will see some of the positive results which we are already achieving with their support, with the support of the CEMS marketing manager. But what I'll run you through very briefly on this one slide is a couple of series of new activities which maybe you have not seen CEMS do in such a comprehensive way before, which we will roll out not only in 2014, but actually in a strategic marketing plan in the next 5 years. So we have this 5-year marketing plan, which is accompanied by a value proposition. The value proposition is not redone and completely new. We just believe that it needs focusing and sharpening. We have discussed this today already in the board. So we will have a sharpened value proposition, which will be offered to all the members to share with the world about what it is that makes CEMS strong, embedded in this 5-year marketing plan. We are looking at quality public relations across the globe. Now, I'm really not an expert, but I've been told that having a shift from roughly 22 million potential contacts to now roughly 300 million potential contacts that we reach out to is not too bad. I can't do the math, but it's probably something like a 1,300% increase. So you may have seen some of the stories out there in The Guardian, in the India Times, in Forbes, on the Financial Times, Business Week, South China Morning Post. So these are good names. And we believe that there will actually be a viral spiraling up effect of we start well and we will even get better because we become a reference voice in international business education. On social media, which I am really not an expert in, and I'm very, very happy that we have people who do that with me and for CEMS, we seem to be doing pretty good from what I'm being told. So increases in between 25 and 60% of engagement and reach in the usual suspects, so Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, etc., seems to be pretty good. And what we are doing here is that we are not only doing it ourselves from the head office, we're also engaging you, the corporate partners, the students and the universities to create what I'm being told retweets to communicate jointly on topics from the universities, from the companies of CEMS back and forth. And that seems to be pretty successful in the past month. And finally, we will try to improve the return on investment because our budget for doing all of this is still modest and moderate. But we want to have a greater impact. So what we're looking at is doing just what really gives us good and quick and sustainable results and dismiss things which maybe don't help us right away. And that is quite exciting, I have to say. For me, it's a whole new world. And I hope that the communication directors in the rooms, the universities, will be as excited as I am to go this route down with us the next 5 years. So that by the year 2020, and that is what was formulated a year ago, not only every recruiter will know what CEMS, MIM, and CEMS stand for, but every business person in the world. And that is our goal, and I do not think it is too ambitious. It is ambitious, I know that. So visibility in the entire world, not talking about world domination here, I have probably, that is also the academic world, which we want to conquer. Thomas already mentioned the Academy of Management in Orlando. In 2014, we want to go to Philadelphia and have an additional event together with Global Business School Network and One MBA. So we will also continue doing this in the academic world. So coming to the last point, responsibility in local communities and for the world. A look into the future. Yesterday, we discussed the mandate that we have been given by the strategic board, by our deans and directors and vice presidents, to look into Africa. You will have noticed that 4 continents are not 5. One is missing, that is Africa. And the strategic board has embraced a strategy for us to look into membership in Africa. So what we are going to do in 2014 is to resume talks with certainly full membership for university in South Africa, which is a standard procedure, full membership. But we will also look at something new. We believe that not only is it a moral obligation of the developed world to give back and to support Africa in its development, we also do think that there are concrete business opportunities to be found in the continent for our corporate partners, and also learning opportunities for our alumni and our students for doing business in Africa, which is certainly a difficult environment, we know that, but it's worth exploring. So we will show you in April a short list of 1, maybe 2 business schools, aspiring business schools in relatively safe countries, with which CEMS will want to engage in a 10-15-year development strategy with the aim to develop these partners in countries like Ghana to maybe become full CEMS members by the year 2025. And that can be a very, very exciting project. We'll talk about faculty development, student, alumni, corporate partner-led projects, and we will certainly also have cooperation partners, EFMD, government organizations, NGOs, foundations. There's a lot of things happening there because we believe that CEMS, as an alliance engaged in education, is the best placed organization to help the development. Because if it is not done via education, then it is not going to be done by any other form of help and support. And my last slide is on, we'll certainly continue working with our social partners already in Europe and Asia on such projects. But we are very, very happy and thankful that a group of our alumni has taken this social responsibility and social entrepreneurship to the next level. And following the first edition last year, we have the second edition today of the SenStation Global Social Business Competition. And we have the awards of this competition here today. And I would like to call on stage Rafal Zipak, who is the co-founder and CEO of SenStation, to introduce the winner of the competition to us. Rafal, the floor is yours.
Buenos días, señores y señoras. CEMS is a very empowering organization. It is the only one place in the world where the major governing business of this world meets empowering talent. It gives to students global citizenship, which means that we take what is beautiful from our countries and we apply it to the global scale. So me as patriotic, I understand it as John Paul II, to help and to serve people. SenStation is a positive social impact accelerator where we would like to empower people to see opportunities in the problems, and we would like to help poor people to reach new heights by creating innovation. When we were starting developing this project, I never knew that the life will lead me through such an exciting journey to such amazing circumstance to give award to real heroes in front of such fantastic audience. Social entrepreneurship calls for inclusion of values, financial, social, and environmental. Financial might be more related to your mind, whereas social is more related to your feelings, and then outside is the planet. So, although we developed an amazing financial measurement system, maybe our real mission on this planet is to help the people and the existing life on this planet and the planet itself. And maybe our real mission on this world is still maximizing shareholder value, but maximizing the shareholder value, value of the shareholders of the living people on this planet. Imagine a boat with your mind you choose direction. It is either positive thinking or negative thinking. And then, in order to actually move your boat, you need to put some passion in place, some energy. So it requires a very brave mind to actually look at the problems around the world and see opportunities in these problems. But it requires even more brave mind to actually put your passion in place and go and solve this. So now you can imagine a bigger boat, and this boat with many passionate people. Many of these passionate people are already on this boat. It's called social entrepreneurship. And these people are passionate about helping and serving other people. And we have built a harbor for this boat, sensation, where we have organized global social business competition 2 times. The first project, HESEX, is already developing its idea in Ghana. And now we are slowly getting to announce the winner of the second competition, led by Men on the Block. Together, we received the support from social entrepreneurs. Many of the social entrepreneurs are part of our community. And we organized this competition together with an amazing partners like Care International, Transparency International, McKinsey & Company. We received 15 projects from 49 students from 20 universities, and panel of judges chose 3 projects: Haiti Entrepreneurship Hub, Kick Off Your Idea, and My Tradeworks. And the winner of this competition is My Tradeworks team from University of St. Gallen and Erasmus University Rotterdam School of Management. And it's represented by Nadege Ruzicka, Gabriele Schneider, Manuela Hack, and Este Hack. And I would like to invite the representatives of this team, Manuela Hack and Este Hack from both universities, to join us on the stage together with Jonathan Hosten, that was hosting as the corporate partner of Sensation the competition.
Okay, hello everyone. My name is Este. I'm from Rotterdam, Rotterdam School of Management.
Hi, my name is Manuela. I'm from the University of St. Gallen.
Yeah, and as Rafa already explained, we actually had 2 more team members, and we showed a picture of them up there. It's Gabrielle, also from the Netherlands, and Nadesh, who actually studies at HEC. And well, we're generally 4 really happy girls, but we had a special reason to be so happy in this picture, and that's because we just heard that we won the Sensation Challenge. And that was actually quite a challenge for us. When we started our semester in Rotterdam before the summer, we were about to start our business project, and we were given 2 options. The first one was to start a business project with a company, let a company give us a problem, try to solve it, just something in the developed world. Or we could start with a blank page kind of broaden our perspectives on the definition of a problem and look at a people's problem. So a problem of people that cannot be solved by consultants, something in the developing countries. And to us, it seemed kind of a logical decision that we would pick the last choice. And, well, what the judges from Sensation told us, what we came up with was promising. So let's explain to you what we did.
Thank you. So our first challenge was to actually find a problem that we could tackle. So we decided to focus on people like him, living in the rural areas of a developing country, like 70% of the worldwide poor do. And his problem is that there is barely any infrastructure. So there are no roads, he doesn't have a car, there is no internet, just like nothing that we are used to having and that makes our life so easy. So this lack of infrastructure causes several problems, as you can imagine. And one particular that we decided to focus on is trading, of course, as a business student. So trading now, as you can imagine, is highly inefficient. For a small farm holder, it's really hard to buy goods that he needs or to sell products that he produces. So what they're doing now is basically relying on a middleman that is keeping a high amount of the profit margin from himself, and also market access in general is very limited. So this is the problem that we saw, but we also saw an opportunity in this problem. And as you already saw, probably, he's holding a mobile phone in his hand. It's not an iPhone, but a regular mobile phone. And indeed, the penetration rate of mobile phones is surprisingly high in these areas. So we decided to focus on, to build on what they already have. And our solution that we call My Trade Works builds on that. It is basically a mobile phone-based trading platform that connects buyers and sellers with each other so that they can trade directly. In short, it works like this, that a potential buyer or potential seller writes an SMS to our platform, and My Trade Works will automatically connect these two requests and provide them with the contact details and the options. So they can find each other and trade directly. This means that they don't have to overcome large distances for nothing. They can reduce transaction costs and are less dependent on the middleman. So, of course, we did a lot of research, and we also couldn't do it all alone.
No, so part of the learning experience for us was, of course, sitting behind our computer and coming up with really good ideas ourselves, but we also learned a lot from other people. So I'm just going to skip this one. Yes. So through Sensation, we were assigned a coach from McKinsey, Jonathan Hustens, and he introduced us to a lot of experts in the field. So people who started a business in developing countries or have experience with expanding businesses, and they learned us a lot from how to do it, because we'd never started a business before. And, well, our special thanks go out to all of them, and especially to Jonathan, of course. All the way from New York, he found time at really strange times to Skype with us. Anything was possible, so yeah, we're really thankful for that. And yeah, to round it up, we're CEMS students, of course, so we have to talk a little bit about our key learning points.
And our key learning is pretty simple. It's ideas are useless unless used. And this is really what we learned. I mean, we were amazed of what we were able to come up with in just one semester. And we know, of course, the next big step is to implement this. Unfortunately, and to be honest here with you, it's for us now in the current team and with the means we have, it will not be possible to implement this exact project in any near future. Therefore, we want to find people that are willing to take our business plan and everything we prepared and pursue this project. or also like to find another similar project that we could invest the award money in. So if you know someone, please feel free to contact us afterwards. And yeah, back to the key learning. It's just important for us, for you to remember that having ideas is very important, but implement them and turning them into useful ideas is even more important. And this is exactly what Sensation is trying to support, and this is why it is so important that you continue to support Sensation. Thank you.
I think, briefly speaking, for McKinsey & Company, it's an easy choice to partner with Sensation. I think it's amazing how they generate a platform and they create the support for very motivated students to work on a social cause, aside from all the business projects and all the business courses that we have. And in our role as coaches with the 5 finalists teams, but particularly with my TradeWorks, it was really impressive to see how these students put together a very rigorous analysis of a very complex challenge. And the work they put in there was really, really impressive, and also how they reached out to many people to come to a very strong plan that hopefully will see the fruits of their work sometime soon. Was an amazing experience for us, and we look forward to the next edition.
Thank you very much. Congratulations to the team. And I would like to ask actually Trina Campbell to come and hand in the award, because I believe that from nature women are just have much more courage than men. So.
This is for you. So maybe to move a little bit to the left. Take a picture.
Again, congratulations to the team. Ladies and gentlemen, it is not true that one person can change the world. In fact, it is only possible that we all, equally important and interconnected, can do something about this world. And we have organized the competition, and through this competition we actually have organized a cooperation. It is a cooperation of frames, but it is also the cooperation of people in these frames. And I would like to say a big thank you to all people that through small gestures contributed to these projects, to program managers, to communication directors, to the CEMS head office here, François Colléon, Nicole de Fontaise, Roland Ziegers, Triana Campbell especially, to student board for promoting the competition for the last 3 years, to all the NGOs that participated. I would like to say thank you to academic directors that took part to actually take into consideration social entrepreneurship, and here especially to René Oli and Alfred Vernis. And I would like to say a big thank you to the team that really was all the time volunteering, and here I would like to take 20 seconds just to mention. Katerina Kondratenko, Triana Campbell, Rena Ruster, Maja Kawaliowa, Nadia Szejnina, Cleo Byron, Manon Rodriguez-Maid, Antoine Replet, Menno de Block, Jor Dunker, Bartłomiej Pisulak, Mateusz Stankiewicz, Lane Herringman, Tomasz Laboutka, and Zdenek Fus. So, since the Christmas are coming, and we have a very special moment here right now in general in the world, because we have a star, as you know, and this star represents somebody special to me, somebody who said, you love one another as I have loved you, you must love one another. And this person really took a lot of courage to actually build the love that CEMS is sharing around the world. So think about yourself, how we can all together bring sense to life. What do we desire? What do we are passionate? And since we have the Festival of Lights, we might think how we enlighten people in the world in the future. And you can find an inspiration under these two websites provided. So thank you again for your contribution, and again, congratulations on our 25th anniversary. Thank you very much.
Now, how do I get from Christmas to the CEMS budget? Well, it is our gift to you, a controlled and delivered budget 2012-13 by our accountant PwC, and the real gift, as you know, is the great show that we're up for by Pierre Semal, our treasurer, who presents the account.
Thank you, everyone. I don't think it's a great show this time. You could be disappointed.
I tried, come on.
To be clear for everyone, the goal of this session is an official goal. The accounts have been reviewed by an external accountant, and I will present their results, and you have to vote afterwards and approve these accounts. This you have to do, you have no choice neither. As you know, I try always to adapt a bit not the account, but the presentation of the account to the country we are in. And in this case, Spain was easy on one hand, because the crisis has struck Spain, the crisis has struck the CEMS budget, so the numbers are not too good. On the other hand, if you think about Spain, everybody starts to think about sunshine, about great climate. And this morning we worked hard in the CEMS meetings to build on this crisis, to go on, to proceed, and to come with new projects. And there was one thing that came from Spain was the great climate, and everybody was positive, and we came with a very extremely good solution. So thank you to my colleague for this, and thank you to Spain for this great climate. Thank you. Now we have to move to the account. I try to, yes, it works. We won't review all the numbers, but as already our chairman said, the numbers are not too good. These were the budget foreseen, and this was the total income. And if you can calculate a little bit, you realize its incomes are a little bit lower. It's 120,000 lower than foreseen. It is the second drop in a year in income, so it's not easy. I have to thank, on the next slide, I have to thank the CEMS office and the whole team there, because even if you have a budget reduced every year and you see that your budget and income is lower than budget, you have to be able to react. They were able to react. Of course, year after year it's tougher, and they react, and they made it only 50,000 below budget, with altogether give a balance that, if you can compute, is not too positive. It's a balance of minus 60,000 euros. So it's a big loss this year. But, of course, as I said, it's not the end of it. It's not the end of it because over years we were able to build some reserves. The reserves were about 44% of the yearly budget. Is a bit reduced now. To compute the reserve, you have to make a lot of calculation. I remind you, for those who want to know, you take the cash, you add the prepaid expenses and the receivable, and you take out the account payables and the you come to 800,000, which is still a very good reserve for the years to come. This is it. These accounts have been reviewed by the external accountant. He was not able to come here. I don't know if it's because of the crisis, but I will make the official review in his name. He wrote in the file you have received the following. I don't read everything, but this conclusion, and his conclusion are as follows. Based on our review, we are not aware of any material misstatement that would prevent the annual account from giving a true and fair view of the CEMS result of its operation for the year ended, and of the final financial position and its assets and liabilities as of September 30th, 2013, in accordance with the accounting rules and principles applicable in France, because CEMS is a French organization. That's it. So your official role is to approve this account so that my responsibility is waived. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Pierre. A little bit more work this year than the years before. I do believe, correct me if I'm wrong, that we are obliged to officially ask you to raise your hand if you do approve these accounts. So could you please show us if you do approve these accounts? Pierre, you carry on from here. Okay, thank you very much. Abstentions? Against? Thank you very much. Approved by unanimity. I show my hands to the results of the votes, which means I haven't touched them. So the results of the votes that you have cast are as follows. All of the corporate representatives are accepted as members of the board. Congratulations to the 6 of you. And with 1 abstention and 39 votes in favor, we have a new CEMS academic members, and that is Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez in Santiago de Chile. So I'd like to call on stage for the ceremonial signing of the Memorandum of Understanding Thomas Biga, CEMS Chairman, and Professor Gonzalo Islas, Vice Dean for Undergraduate Studies. And let me also stay for a minute. We would also like to call on stage Carlos, who you already know, Carlos Alzua, and Marta, who is the Program and Corporate Relations Manager, who will represent Universidad Adolfo Ibáñez. So now it is time for me to say goodbye to the outgoing president and team of the CEMS Student Board of the year 2013, who have done a fabulous job. And I would like to call him on stage, Karol Gornowitz, who is the president. To share with you some of the achievements of the student board in the year 2013. Karol.
Thank you, Roland. Dear members of CEMS General Assembly, dear members of CEMS governance groups, dear student board friends, ladies and gentlemen. Last year in April 2012, I arrived in Barcelona for the first student board meeting as the representative of the Warsaw School of Economics. And here I am again, standing in front of you and proudly presenting the achievements of the student board for year 2013. Yes, that's true, sometimes dreams do come true. This is going to be, and I'm very honest with you, by far the most rewarding presentation in my lifetime so far. And my goal is to familiarize you with the results of the student board work by highlighting the most impactful achievements affecting all key CEMS stakeholders. This should give you an idea about the importance of the role student board plays and should continue to play within the Alliance. Abraham Lincoln said, "Be sure you put your feet in the right place and then stand firm." Exactly a year ago, as the newly elected student board president, I reviewed and assessed every project according to the strategic criteria, which included stakeholders impacted and visibility, which we defined as part of our strategy core. And with that in mind, we aimed at creating added value to every CEMS stakeholder by addressing their needs project by project. With 29 students representing CEMS schools from all over the world, working all year round within global teams around certain areas of expertise, Student Board has all the potential to contribute to the Alliance both at local and global level. Student Board is essentially in the heart of CEMS community. And yet more circles? Let's look at the Olympic Games symbol. In original meaning, it symbolizes ethnical and cultural diversity. In our global CEMS Alliance, context has yet additional meaning. We perceive CEMS as a platform of great collaboration among students, CPs, alumni, and schools. The strength of the team is each individual member. The strength of each member is the team. Ultimately, strategy is not really a solo sport, you know. We made the best effort to embrace the true community spirit by teaming up with every same stakeholder and go for a win together. And yet more circles, sorry for that, but these are the highlights of the student board work. I pointed out every stakeholder and chose the most important projects that are out there. ID Alumni, addressing alumni in the first place. We ran the survey among our students on the expectations towards alumni engagement and provided the CEMS Alumni Association Board with the ideas coming from successful alumni associations we mapped at the universities worldwide. We thus laid the foundations for a mutual collaboration aimed at attracting more future alumni to grow the strength of our alumni network, which is essentially a unique selling point of CEMS. Governance structure. With Viteke, quite recently, the executive director of CEMS Association, we made an agreement establishing a long-term collaboration between our two bodies. FT ranking report. To address head office collaboration this time, we've conducted the analysis of the Financial Times ranking drivers and provided a set of recommendations targeted at improvement of Financial Times ranking in the future evaluations. Professional CEMS merchandise store. We pitched the idea to Rebecca Rosiński, CEMS marketing manager, and established a professional CEMS merchandise store operated by a third party on an annual basis, 24 hours a day. Thus, we hope we will strengthen the brand of CEMS and encourage students to be proudly representing CEMS Alliance in the world. We are finishing guidelines on the creation and development of CEMS clubs, creating CEMS toolkit. And this very project is targeted at schools outside of Europe. CP recruitment benchmark. We collect students' expectations, asked more than 600 students all over the world regarding best practices of recruitment. We are currently finishing the report and will be providing future best practices, increasing efficiency of recruitment among our partners. Prospective CPs. We conducted research for the head office, resulting in the list of potential CEMS partners that was incorporated in the acquisition strategy together during the executive board meeting. And two last things regarding schools. We came up with an idea of Global Sustainability Day to integrate all schools worldwide, which is one-day CSR sustainability-oriented event held at every CEMS school worldwide. First, we started off with 5 universities, but we will scale it up very soon. New Generation Consulting, last but not least, is a 1-2-month consulting project dedicated to social enterprises, which delivered on a virtual team basis, helping a company to solve business problems and give students real-life advisory experience. All in all, we believe that not only have we been able to learn from this collaborative spirit, but also we have been fully capable of providing valuable insights to all CEMS stakeholders and showcase the value that the student board delivers to the CEMS Alliance. End of circles. Now on a very personal note, but for a short time, when I was elected student board president, everything seemed very complex. In the beginning, I was a bit overwhelmed with the range of priorities and number of tasks that should address them. But after some time, I realized that the only way to overcome this apparent complexity is through dialogue. As I presented before, embracing full collaborative spirit was the key to success. Finding common grounds and synergies between parties became clear and obvious at some point. Complex problems broke into smaller parts that become easily understandable. And who do I owe this learning experience? That's the ultimate question. I learned everything from my student board friends, who proved to be the most remarkable group of people I have ever worked with. Guys, student board, please reveal yourselves, all hidden ones. Let us all express our appreciation for your hard work by giving warm hands, recognizing nourishing CEMS spirit. Stand up. Thank you. Now, special thanks. First of all, I would like to thank our partners that supported us throughout our student board meetings. Copenhagen Business School, FGV, EASP, and ESADE as academic partners that hosted our student board meetings. We would also like to thank ABB, Arla Foods, A.T. Kearney, Integration Consulting, and McKinsey & Company for the activities organized during our student board meetings. Well, but there's one special person, very special, I would like to thank most. Albert Camus said, "Don't walk behind me, I may not lead. Don't walk in front of me, I may not follow. Just walk beside me and be my friend." And he proved to be a cordial friend indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, Pavel Djurianin, Vice President of the Student Board. Oh well, one of the key lessons I learned during my student board presidency was always be closing, ABC. Well, I do intend to keep my word, and it's high time that we closed with Pavel this chapter of our lives. And make a room for future generations, obviously. I'm confident that the student board is in good hands and that the new leadership will contribute to the great legacy of the student board within the Alliance. Please welcome the new student board executive team, Rimli Dasgupta, Student Board President, and Robin Vlaming, Vice President and Treasurer. I am passing Student Board torch to the next generation. Rimli and Robin, with Pavel, we are proud of you, and we wish you best of luck. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you again. Thank you so much.
And now I would like to pass the floor to Guillaume Closser, the president of the CEMS Alumni Association, to update us on the latest developments of the CEMS Alumni Association and a glimpse into the future. Guillaume.
Well, thank you very much, Roland, for your welcome. Thank you, Thomas, for your initial word. I have a long presentation, but I think we have half an hour delay. So I will just share certain message. The first one is the CEMS alumni believe in the future of the CEMS. What is CEMS? It's important to say because CEMS is a community of schools, of students, of corporate partners, and alumni. And the reputation of the CEMS of the long term is somehow part of our responsibility. This responsibility is to say what goes well and goes bad with the CEMS, but also to say where we want to go for the community which we are part of. And where we want to go is to contribute also to renew management, because we are in a world of big change. Management, education, 20 years ago, is not anymore management education in a world in transition with a new industrial and technological revolution and with new expectation of our shareholder. And our shareholder for us, who are manager, executive director, are the people who with we are working and our stakeholders. And in this world, we need to be, as you have said, global citizen, because we have a big part of responsibility in the world to be defined and to be designed, and we are part of this designing. It's also continuous education for the student and for ourselves. So I would say we are very proud to be a positive contributor to the future of CEMS, and we will try to be a driver guided by innovation, respect, and empathy. That was my first message. My second message is we have, with the CEMS alumni, a family in order to develop us. This family nowadays is close to 8,000 people. It's a global network, like CEMS. We have a local committee in 26 countries, which is a lot. We have people on all the continent. And our challenge is threefold. First, we need to become a professional organization. A professional organization means to have professional people in our organization. And we have, for the first time, an executive director. We have recruited some months ago, and this director is an alumni, is an alumnus. Viteke Dupin. Please, Viteke. You can stand up. Second, we have a new governance with a team of 11 people. If my team can stand up too, so that you can... Igor. And within the team there is Roland also, because he's member of our board. Our governance is composed of people from the CEMS Executive Office, from the schools, from the students, and various alumni, more senior or less senior, I would say. This is the second step of our professionalization. we are working with all stakeholders, and we are reinforcing this work. And I was part of the last CEMS strategic meeting in London, not UK, but Canada. Our second challenge is to increase the value we bring to our stakeholder and our alumni. And for that, we have to think the future. And we have launched an exercise which is CEMS Alumni 2020 strategy. And tomorrow we are going to go on this exercise. And all of you can come at 11:40 to discuss with us in order to design our future. In order to increase our value, we need also to increase our connection with our members, and also to help them globally to develop their potential. So we have launched, under the leadership of Igor, where is Igor? Igor is here. We have launched a global platform, or we are about to launch within the beginning of the next year, a global platform, which will be a mentorship platform for our alumni. This is something very concrete. This is a big challenge to make it a success, because it will be the first alumnus global mentorship platform, I think, in the world. And we are developing that with eVisor, which is a leading company. And our third challenge is to invent the next step of our contribution to society. You say we need to be global citizen. I think it's true. So we need to think now what being successful within a globalized and very unfair world mean, and I think it will be one of the key elements of my mandate. So now you know who we are. We are a team. You know our objective, which is professionalization, which is leading career and potential of our alumnus, and you know our responsibility, which is to develop global awareness and global citizenship. And this, we can only do it together because we are a community. Thank you very much.
I believe we have one award to give. You may be aware, some of you, that one of the first things we started is the Alumni of the Year campaign. And the Alumni of the Year campaign was a huge success. The student board, once again, helped us identify some of the most inspiring, most unique of our alumni in the past 20, 25 years. And we have run an online vote in 3 months. We had 3 candidates for each month. And the community voted on their alumnus of the month. So we have alumni of the months of April, May, June, and July. And you see them here, inspiring people. And I believe, Guillaume, you can announse the winner, who has actually been elected to be...
Well.
You will? Okay, you go for it.
Wait.
You go for it.
Maybe you want to know who are the people there.
Please, go for it.
Okay, because we launched a new tradition, and developing a CEMS spirit is always developing tradition. So that's a new tradition, and this is the first CEMS Alumni of the Year. So it's a big event. It's a big event. And first you have nominee. And this nominee, for them, it's also something very important. So I think we need to applaud them. The first one was the first president of the CEMS Alumni Association, and he was a founder. I see he's now a doctor. So it's Dr. Andrea Castronovo. Andrea. And he's doing a job many of us would like to do. He is a president of BMW Group. What does mean CEE? Okay, Central Eastern Europe. So you come from Bocconi and HEC. And you were alumnus of the month April. There is someone who was with me at HEC, Uriel Ohayon, but he is not there. But you can applaud him, however. He's a leading guy in the new technology sphere, and he is founder and CEO of appsfire.com. The third one is a lady, Verena Biersling. She is the founder of Unique Allure. She went to HEC, Bocconi, and Wien. She was lucky because at my time, we have only one school. And she was the alumna of June. And the last one is Igor Takeshi. You say always Takeshi? Nishimura, who is an investment banking entrepreneur, and he is also our treasurer. So you can applaud him. And the winner is, well, he is here. It's not cheap. It's Igor Takeshi Nishimura. Maybe some word regarding Igor. Igor has a 10-year professional career. He worked in many industries, in top company. Well, I don't remember all, but there is Unilever. Yes?
I can talk a little bit.
Oh, you can talk a little bit. So, and he can talk a little bit, so he's going to explain to you what he does. And we are, as president of CEMS alumni, I can tell you that he is very committed to the CEMS development. And I think it is one of the reasons why you have been chosen, but also because you are a global citizen. You are from Brazil, and you stand for a new step of the CEMS. Please.
Well, if you see the picture there, it's like a little bit different from me. So it's just to prove that, even though I have a different, haircut, like Japanese people can be, different as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's a great honor for me to be, announced as the first alumni of the month, of the year as well. For me, it represents a lot because, I think it's the celebration of one of the most important assets of the CEMS community with our alumni. And also, I'm very proud because I was also one of the 4 candidates with Andrea Castronova, who basically helped me a lot. And he hired me when we used to work at Ferrari Maserati in Paris. I really appreciate that. And there are some people here I would like to thank. Obviously, there's a lot of people that want to tell here, but maybe I'm not going to have time for that. But obviously, I want to thank a lot the people who voted me, so all the same stakeholders, the same student board that I had a lot of contact with when they were in São Paulo, the corporate partners, colleagues that I work for, some corporate partners as well. But 2 special people from CEMS head office who helped me a lot. I mean, maybe a lot of people don't know my career and also my story with CEMS, but I almost didn't finish CEMS. And 2 special persons from head office really helped me. One of them is Roland Sigers, who at that time had a very difficult personal moment, and he supported me a lot to continue this venture, but also Mariette Lecroix, who I consider to be my French mom, who adopted me quite a lot. And she hosts me in Paris one time that I have a very difficult moment. So I really want to thank And what I would like to say that I don't see this prize to be specific to Igor Nishimura as a person, but I would like to celebrate more what it means. I mean, the fact that I have a different, let's say, very international, it's really related to what CEMS is standing for. For example, there's 3 factors that I suppose that I think some people vote on me, which first of all is my international career. Basically, within this, let's say, I've been living abroad the last 10 years. I just decided to come back to Brazil right now. But I lived, let's say, in Spain, in France, in Switzerland, in Germany, also in the Bahamas, but also in the US, London. The first thing is this internationalization. The second thing I think that's important is to be ambitious and also accept new challenges. This is exactly what I try to do. I started in marketing and sales, and then I moved a little bit to consulting, and then I went to private banking, investment banking, and now I'm an entrepreneur. So I think this is, I mean, I never, and the third point, which is going to be in line with what I'm going to say right now, is that you should get out of your comfort zone. I see so many people here also doing this social entrepreneurship, which I find fantastic. I see this network, there's so much value. And basically what I'm trying to do right now in entrepreneurship is doing a multi-family office, which potentially can help also this new social entrepreneurship looking for investors. So I'm also I'm helping on the, let's say, capital raise. So we can talk a little bit later. But yes, I think that's it. And thank you very much for the votes. And also let's celebrate this special time here, celebrating 25 years of CEMS and also 20 years of CEMS Alumni Association. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Igor and Guillaume. So it's also time to say goodbye. We're coming to the close of this part of the session. Every year, some are leaving us, CEMS. They are certainly not leaving the family. They remain in our hearts, but they do leave their official positions. And I would like to take the opportunity to say thank you very much to some of the people who are left or leaving the CEMS jobs this year for the great contributions to CEMS. Thank you very, very much to all of you. And one person who is not here today, I would like to say special thanks, that is Shandor. Shandor Karakish, who has ended his mandate with the executive board of CEMS, is a friend, and Shandor, many of you do. Shandor has been a loyal representative of Corvinus University for many, many years. But beyond that, Shandor has always contributed to the CEMS Association in more ways. He was one of the founding members of the Quality Assurance Committee, which is not only a quite influential group, it is also a group that works quite a bit. So Shandor has had to read hundreds of pages of reports and go through very intense, very well moderated telephone conferences by Thomas and Eric, and that says something. So Shandor has been a very, very active member in the Quality Assurance Committee, and also for, I believe, 15 years, he has been a contributor to the faculty group Business and the Environment. And we hope that he will continue to be a contributor. And I think one of the first block seminars, together with Adam and others, Shandor was there and contributed as a teacher. So I will find a minute tomorrow to say special thanks on your behalf to Shandor, and I would like to take this minute for him. Thank you, Shandor. Can I have that micro? Before I give the word back to Thomas, I will even if it is late, you will allow me to take a minute to talk about CEMS. We're going to be celebrating the 25 years of CEMS. And for me, it's been 11 and a half years with CEMS. And I would just like to say a personal word to you about this unique organization that you're all part of. This unique organization, which has absolutely nothing to compare with in the world, is about people. For me, it's been a lot of fun, a lot of challenges. It's been 11 and a half years where I've never been bored, where around the corner there's always been a new challenge every single year. That's what has kept me here, despite academic committee meetings about languages. And for many of us, for many of you, CEMS is more than a job. For many of us and for many of you, CEMS is an important part of your lives and of our lives. And this is certainly true for the head office. And I believe, Nicole, you will agree with me when I say that Nicole and I are deeply honored to be allowed to work with such an inspiring and dedicated team at the head office. And I would just mention their names: Tara, Denisa, Trina, Pascal, Rebecca, Jamie, André, Rita, and Mariette. Thank you very much. There. And representative of you, I would also like to mention some of you who maybe do not appear on these slides very often, and not because you do not deserve it, but maybe because you're a little bit too humble. So I would like to pull you out of that humbleness, and not representative, and a very personal word of myself, to say to a couple of you, thank you very much for what you're doing for CEMS. Katja Bussavark, David Westbury, Stephanie Brooks, Masa Inakage, Sin Hoon Ham, Emma Sohn, Otto Weinelt, Kazune Funato, and Juja Krista. Thank you very, very much. And I will finish by quoting an alumnus who hasn't been represented by what I mean by all of this. And Uriel, who you see before, Uriel Ohayon, who's the CEMS alumnus of the month of May 2013, says this about CEMS, and with this I will close. I have a wonderful memory of my time during the CEMS program. Probably some of the richest and most enjoyable years I had as a student. The wonders of discovering a new way of life, the stimulation of meeting people from all over the world, all the gatherings. CEMS is more than just an academic program. It's a breath of fresh air for your brain, your sense of judgment, and your learning activities. Thank you very much. And now it's to you, Thomas.
On the 2nd of December 1988, 4 distinguished individuals assembled at ESADE, Barcelona, in order to sign a historic agreement. On that day, they put pen to paper and made official their vision of taking management education to a pan-European level. Their considered view of creating a European benchmark of excellence was now a reality.
Dear CEMS friends, dear CEMS community, management always is about people. Nobody can be successful in the long term as manager, financial specialist, politician, without understanding the basic needs of people, their fears, desires, and visions. The famous historian Ian Morris, in his book, Why the West Rules for Now, put it like this: change is caused by lazy, greedy, frightened people looking for easier, more profitable, and safer ways to do things. And they rarely know what they are doing. 25 years ago, the world was in a restructuring process with the end of the Cold War. New markets opened and the economy boomed. It was also the time of finding a new world order, politically and culturally. At that time, Samuel Huntington published his first thoughts on the cultural developments in the post-Cold War age of globalization, thoughts which led to the famous book, Clash of Cultures and the Remaking of the World Order. He describes a globalized world which not develops into a global village with an integrated culture, but rather coexisting, competing, and even conflicting regions. To understand people, a deeper knowledge of their culture is needed. To develop companies and political systems in a globalized scale, an ability to communicate across and bridge between these cultures is needed. The founders of CEMS did have exactly that vision, to develop and offer a degree that prepares future managers and leaders in a multicultural world who act as entrepreneurs in economy and society. And the founders were not seeking a more profitable and easier way for themselves, but rather worked hard and without any financial compensation for their vision. Here is the moment to commemorate them, here at the birthplace of CEMS in Barcelona. 25 years ago, Jean-Paul Larsan, Louis Bouget, Günter Sieben, and Carlo Secchi, supported by Nicole Defontaine, founded CEMS, an international organization which embarked on a successful journey, first as the community of European management schools, to set a new standard in management education in form of a pre-experienced master in international management. The journey continued across the globe as CEMS developed into the Global Alliance in Management Education. On this journey across all continents, dedicated personalities were at the helm at different stages of time. They took responsibility and risk. The CEMS Strategy Board therefore decided to award honorary membership to a dedicated group of 4 CEMS entrepreneurs and drivers. The journey of CEMS reaches here in Barcelona a kind of a box stop on its way to the 50th anniversary in the year 2038, which most probably will take place either in Paris, Milano, Cologne, or Barcelona. Please reserve the date, end of November. We are convinced that thanks to the innovations which will keep the CEMS MIM in its position as a forefront pre-experience management program, thanks to increasing cooperations between CEMS member universities and social as well as corporate members, thanks to a unique and strong alumni organization, thanks to committed students, and thanks to a committed faculty cooperating across continents, CEMS, even in 2038, will be an even stronger leading organization in management education. I think, dear friends, it's a unique opportunity to have all 4 founding members of CEMS here together with us today in Barcelona. I therefore would like to invite Jean-Paul Larsan from HEC Paris, Louis Bouget, ESADE, Carlo Secchi, Bocconi, and Günter Sieben, Cologne, up here on the stage. And I now invite Carlo Secchi and Jean-Paul Larson to say some words to the community.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, for your kind words. Thank you for your presence here. Thank you very much, Eugenia Bieto, Director General of ESADE, to invite us every 25 years. It's, but it shows the key role of ESADE in the founding and in the development of CEMS. So we were 4 musketeers to sign the agreement in a room up there at ESADE, Avenida Pedralbes. And it's true, we had 2 interesting other actors and witnesses. I would like to name Nicole de Fontaine. She was working for HEC at that time. Immediately, she went to work as the first Director General of CEMS. You know, she was following the road of success. This is Nicole. And another one, he stayed at ESADE, is Carlo Gallucci. He was there. He made a great career as a professor of marketing, a dean, and during these last 25 years, he supported CEMS. Thank you, Carlo. Thank you, Nicole. Let me share a secret about these founders. I think Thomas spoke about risk. 2 of us out of the 4, I will not name them, took great risk. Because, you know, at that time, it was fragmented Europe. It was before the Bologna Agreement. France was France, Italy had different systems and so on. So some of us, to sign this famous founding agreement, had to take the risk to do something which was not only unconventional, maybe criticized at home, and in some cases very creative from a legal point of view. So yes, it was an entrepreneurial period. Some of us, at least 2 of us, took great risk. And by the way, we thought that it was, the world was changing. So the world is always changing, and at that moment we tried to create something new. Then those, after this period of founding, who transformed this initiative in a world success are the successive chairmen of CEMS, starting with Luis Puges. So again, ESADE was there. And Sauser, Werner Delfmann, Bernard Ramanantsoa, Thomas Bigger, with the help of the business community. So yes, a mechanism of transformation to transform what was apparently a good idea in a world success and a powerful machine. Listening to the presentation about the future and strategy, Thomas, I would like to share a belief on what are the key success factors of CEMS. One element, and so there are 2 elements, 2 pillars that might be semi-independent. One element has to do with the selectiveness and the exclusive character of the degree. This is what is attracting for the students and attracting for the company recruiting them. But there is another pillar which is quite different, which is the uniqueness and excellence of the academic institution of CEMS. Their excellence in research, their excellence in teaching. At the same time, most of them are not only local champions, but global giants. So these are 2 parallel elements of power in the development of CEMS, and I wish that the leader of CEMS today and in the future can keep this good balance between something that has to do with globalization and standardization and maybe volume. We heard about the 1,000, but another element which has to do with roots that are not necessarily local, but academic roots of strong institutions that are different one from another. If Spanish students go to Keio University in Tokyo, if it's the same classroom, the same professor, the same cases, the same companies, L'Oréal and Shell recruiting worldwide, it's not perfect. It's not the essence of what is Keio excellence and specificity. I wish you all the best for the next 25 years.
Thank you, Jean-Paul. Carlo Secchi.
I'm really a bit embarrassed for this very warm welcome you gave me and to my very good friends sitting on this stage. But my most important feeling is a feeling of joy, because I'm very happy and very glad of what has taken place after that signature of 25 years ago. And before that signature, there was a very important meeting at HEC when the idea took shape and then it was developed into that agreement. So a feeling of deep joy, but also a feeling of proudness. I mean, I'm very proud of what has taken place in 25 years, thanks, of course, to people sitting here, people who have taken over, all who have been working on this. And this is something very important to look with courage and a lot of optimism to the next 25 years, as Thomas mentioned. Let me just share with you a few thoughts, very, very quick. Time is running short, and perhaps some of you are already a bit tired. Well, 1988 was a special year. Why we did this in 1988? Of course, we could have done it 1 year before, 1 year after. Doesn't make much of a difference. But Europe was in a very special period. It was looking at 1992 as a moment of change. Europe, Jacques Delors was leading us or trying to push us towards becoming a more united economic space, a better functioning market, and so on and so on. True, the wall, the Berlin Wall had not fallen yet, but it was about to fall. So it was inside Europe a moment of looking at the future with worries, because things were changing rapidly, but also with optimism. And at the same time, the world was changing around us. And so that is the reason why we asked ourselves, what should we do in order to improve what we are doing in the field of management, education, research, and so on. And we decided, first of all, to try to build on existing ties. We were already cooperating in a variety of fields, and we were cooperating, being pioneers in the field of international exchanges of students, professors, and so on. You are all familiar with the Erasmus program, but the Erasmus program was not there in 1988 yet. So we were forerunners. And I mean, the fact of taking the courage of going even further, and next parallel to that, the fact of trying, first of all, to consolidate and build on existing ties, and then enlarge to other partners. And as a matter of fact, CEMS now is made of 29 academic institutions. So from 4 to 29, you know what I mean. I think these are two lines of behavior which are important to keep always in mind. And of course, now new challenges have to be faced. And CEMS, in a sense, cannot but remain the #1 in this field. After 25 successful years, you cannot, of course, give up and let others take the lead. Jean-Paul used as a catchword at the beginning, risk. Let me introduce another one parallel to it, that is innovation. You are, in a sense, condemned to always innovate. Only in doing that, of course, innovate with smart ideas coming out of important and sound experiences and with a very good and positive vision about the future. Only in doing that, you remain #1, but I'm sure, I have no doubt that this is what will take place. My best wishes to all of you and to all those who will come in the next 25 years. When we were signing upstairs, most of those who graduate tomorrow were not born yet, were about to be born, more or less. Now we talk about the next 25 years. The same is happening. And so good luck to all of you and to those who are about to come. Thank you.
The 4 founders all are honorary members, and as a memory of this special day, we will give them a little present. And I now like to invite Nicole Desfontaines, who supported the organization right from the beginning. Jean-Paul has mentioned it here on stage, to introduce us some other people.
Dear friends, it's a great pleasure to be here at ESADE 25 years later. A warm thanks to you, Eugenia, and to all the ESADE team for your very warm hospitality. It's of course a great pride and joy to be celebrating this anniversary. It's a bit of emotion as well, if I am honest. And in particular, when I see so many familiar faces and so many friends. Well, I think 25 years later, I need my glasses, I'm sorry. So, I have the privilege to have been there from the very first day, even before the first day. It started in 1987, when Claudia, you visited me at HEC. I think this was the reason why it all started. Thank you for your visit. It was worth the trip. I would like to share a few thoughts with you, and probably I will echo what Jean-Paul and Carlo said. CEMS was designed as an incredibly ambitious project by people who dared to think big, but really big, you know, beyond the usual limits. They thought out of the box, but I mean, really, there was no box anymore. I mean, there was just creativity and just innovation and no limits. CEMS founders had a vision of the further integration of Europe, which would impact people, businesses, academic players, of course, and would lead, among other things, to the future emergence of a pan-European employment market for business graduates. So, as an answer to this vision, CEMS founders conceived something absolutely huge again. They thought of a single degree program. I mean, nothing existed like that at the time, consisting of common elements, and that's very familiar to all of you, internship, languages, and a common content for each course that we used to call the common body of knowledge. And a common degree, which will be awarded at a single graduation ceremony, gathering all CEMS graduates. That's, again, sounds familiar, but it never happened before. I mean, we had no example of this. They also conceived a very solid organization made of business schools and companies from the very first day, supported by an independent head office. Nothing like this existed at the time. This ambitious and forward-looking mindset has been there during the 25 years of CEMS and has to be kept for the 25 coming years. Thanks to this forward-looking spirit, CEMS has become global with the inclusion of the most prestigious universities worldwide. I think CEMS is always trying to do more and better. And I think this is why we believe that CEMS is so special. Trust made all this possible. The founders were taking the risk to share a business degree in common, while, you know, they were the the leaders in their own country. And this common degree that they were sharing could have affected the reputation of their home degree and their institution. But they had to trust each other. They respected each other despite the diversity of the funding institutions. There were only 4 institutions at the beginning, but they were already very diverse. CEMS is what it is because members trust and respect each other despite differences. And this is even more crucial in a global CEMS where cultural differences are deeper. I think it works because of a genuine empathy between members. And again, this really has to continue for the 25 coming years. Founders were just passionate about CEMS. They didn't do it because it was politically correct to create such a thing, or because it would be well regarded by any superior. Actually, as you said, it was quite the opposite, and you had some problems afterwards. They were passionate because this project was in full accordance with their values. They felt they were contributing to the building of a tolerant and open-minded Europe, where friendships are more important than borders. Passion for CEMS is still there, and CEMS actors of today are passionate about CEMS because it also echoes their values. CEMS has the ambition to educate responsible leaders, as written in our mission statement. And CEMS students and alumni are extremely committed to this ambitious objective, and I think this is really fantastic. They deserve our admiration for their passion for CEMS and for their passion for responsible leadership. So thank you. In the course of these 25 very short years, actually, we have seen so many forward-looking and passionate people who did a lot for CEMS. Because again, I think it met their values. Some of them are with us today to celebrate, and I'm so grateful that you are coming back to celebrate this with the CEMS family. I think of Jaroslava from Prague and Christian from Louvain, who had decided that their school would become a CEMS member. And later on, you became such great players. Thank you. I think of Lars Bergman, who did so much for the CEMS governance and for the setting up of the CEMS strategic board. So Lars, I think you deserve a very warm thank you. On the corporate side, I think of Mary Talbot, Steve Boley, Scott Nielsen, who gave and are still giving so much to CEMS. A big thank you to you. In a way, I would like to mention all of you, because, I mean, you're all so passionate about CEMS and you give so much to CEMS, but of course, it would be difficult. But really all, members of the executive boards, members of the academic committee, faculty members, program managers, corporate relations managers, students, alumni, I think you all should be mentioned and thanked. Maybe I will make one exception, and it's very dangerous and politically incorrect to make one exception, but I would like to thank one person who is helping to make this event today possible and who's been helping us for 11 years, that is Audrey. Thank you, Audrey. Well, on the head office side, I think of François and Roland, who've served or are serving CEMS with so much passion and talent. Thank you. Christy Dagan, who should be with us today as well, I think, and who's been a very great contributor. Thank you, Christy. but also Mariette, who will soon celebrate 25 years with CEMS. Mariette. Trina, who joined the office 10 years later. Followed by Rita, and then Denisa and Pascal, Jamie, Rebecca, Viteke, and more recently, Tara. On the occasion of this anniversary celebration, we thought that it was the right moment to officially acknowledge the outstanding contribution of some key players who've given so much of their time and energy to CEMS. Again, I think because it was in accordance with their values. So I will now pass on the floor to the CEMS chairman for this awarding ceremony. Thank you.
Now we are starting with the awarding of honorary membership. By the decision of the strategy board, 4 personalities are awarded honorary memberships, personalities who distinguish themselves by the long year of loyal service to CEMS, by the contribution to different dimensions of development of CEMS, and by the achievements, the difference they made to CEMS. First, I call on stage Professor Dr. Heinz Hauser. Heinz Hauser believed in CEMS even before the founding act and was asking for membership for the University of St. Gallen right at the beginning. He brought the University of St. Gallen into the CEMS network in 1990, became soon afterwards Vice President Academic Affairs, launched the first curriculum reform for the CEMS EMAIM, and became chairman in 1995. He was re-elected as chairman in 1997. Under his term, Central European universities became full member, and he also launched a comprehensive strategy review which led to the ambition of CEMS becoming global. Heinz, thank you very much for your contribution to CEMS. Heinz Hauser will say some words to us.
Well, first of all, I'd like really to thank. When I received this news, I was emotionally touched, I have to admit. And I felt extremely proud to become an honorary member of a group which has developed so strongly in the past year and which has a great potential to grow and to develop in the years to come. It's really great to be partner and member of this group. Now, I was given the right to say a few words. When I received this message, I all of a sudden again started to think, what is a mission? What is a vision of CEMS? And I came up with actually a very short description. We empower talent for change. Now, just for we, why do I say we, not CEMS? Because it's a group of persons who are involved in this venture. Empower talents. I think what we heard today has very much to do with empowering students, empowering persons to achieve and to excel later and in their lives. Personally, what does it mean? I think we really have to put the students and the graduates in the center of our thinking. What we do as schools is our instruments to a very good end, to give these students and these graduates a better chance in their future life. Now, what are the main ingredients? It's first a very innovative degree. It's second, a learning experience, a structured learning experience in very different cultures, languages, and relationship with business, which is so distinct from a normal university education. And third, it's a degree which has gained high reputation on labor markets. It is an opening key to employment and very promising employment in the future. We said empowering talent. This, again, I think, puts the students in the center. Selection, in my view, or selection sounds negatively excluding. Inviting the right students to participate in the program is so key, I think, to the success. And here I just want to stress it is academic achievement, but it's much more. We look for, well, I'm not any longer part, but emotionally I'm still part of CEMS. I think we look at personalities, persons who develop empathy with other persons, who can relate to other persons, as a very important part, I think, for the qualifications we look. Talents is also, in my view, a kind of ownership attitude. These are persons who take ownership of a project. They take not just responsibility for doing something. They want to achieve results. It's this kind of result orientation which makes them different from many, many of other students. Now I say for change, empower talent for change. For change, I do not mean which can adapt to change, but I mean these are persons who change the world. Maybe it's very far-reaching, but to a small amount, I think I would accept that these students make a difference to the world. And that gives me a last thought. Actually, whether or not we are successful, we can only evaluate after maybe 15 to 20 years in the future of their graduation. We could do this now with the first cohorts, but I don't know whether you have this information, what they really do and achieve as in their professional life, but also, I would say, in their responsibility for society, for their families, for the entire group of people they live in. Now, in this sense, I would like to congratulate all who contribute that CEMS can reach this goal, empowering talents for change. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Heinz Hauser. I now would like to call on stage Werner Delfmann. Professor Dr. Werner Delfmann succeeded Professor Sieben as Vice President Treasurer soon after the foundation of CEMS and kept this position for many years, until he became chairman in 1999. He was re-elected as chairman in 2001. His contribution mainly lies in academic affairs. He was very active in the founding and the succession of one of the most active faculty groups in international logistics, and he designed the concept of what later has been a compulsory element of the CEMS curriculum, the blocked seminar. He also worked closely with the executive director and Christy Degen in a major curriculum reform which led to what we know today as the CEMS MIM one-year program. Congratulations and thanks for all what you did for CEMS to Werner Delfmann.
Well, thank you very much, dear CEMS friends. Indeed, this is also for me a very emotional moment, a very special one. I feel very honored. CEMS celebrates its 25th anniversary. I was lucky enough 25 years ago in 1988, I joined University of Cologne as a young full professor. So this was a lucky coincidence because within a few weeks or months after the foundation of CEMS, there was one of these visionary founders of the CEMS who invited me to share his vision and opened the CEMS world for me. Günther, ganz, ganz herzlichen Dank, dass du mir diese Möglichkeit gegeben hast, in die CEMS-Welt einzutauchen, so to start into the CEMS world. It was in those days, the CEMS world was tiny. 4 schools, a handful of corporate partners, even a handful of students, no alumni in the first years, of course. This started in 1990. Over the years, it was an unbelievable success story. If you look at the CEMS today, I don't know, we have about 1,000 graduates. We have close to 30 schools. We have some 60 corporate partners, a huge, huge world. Of course, CEMS had to change and to adapt to that. Over the years, we have seen changes in the corporate governance of the CEMS. And of course, in the people committed to the CEMS. In the committees, big number of committees changing every year, a new title, a new vice president for this and that. So this was necessary. I think today CEMS is more like a professional organization. When you compare this tiny CEMS in those years and today, major changes. However, and this was said by a couple of speakers before, and I think you even can feel it in this room. There is something more than professionalism. There's something more than selectivity and excellence. There's more than globalization. There must be something behind. And I think this can be called the CEMS spirit. Wherever you meet people around the world, in these days it's thousands of students, hundreds of academic colleagues, corporate partners, alumni, hundreds and thousands of them. Wherever you meet them, immediately you feel it. There is something more. Sometimes on airports, I meet a young guy, say, you remember I was in the CEMS class of, I don't know when, 2001. We were talking about sustainability and corporate social responsibility. And I say, of course I remember. Which is, okay, admit it. Not always true, but clearly we immediately communicate to each other in a very special way. And I think this is maybe the key success factor of the CEMS. And I see a challenge for the future. The bigger an organization is, the more you have to be professional, the more you have to structure your work, otherwise you will not be able to meet the challenges of the future. But my wish is that this CEMS spirit never gets lost. I think it's the most important asset we have in this community. I think we can still say in the CEMS family. And having this in mind, I wish you all a CEMSy spirit for the future, contribute to the idea of the CEMS, and now we can start in a few hours or so to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the CEMS. Have a sensational celebration. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Werner. And I now like to call on stage Bernard Ramanzoa. Please come up. He is the Dean of HEC, which is not only a founding member of CEMS, it's also one of the leading business schools worldwide. And it's the host of the CEMS head office since the foundation of the CEMS Alliance. Bernard was elected chairman in 2006, re-elected in 2008, and you easily see that these were the years of the great, big financial crisis, and his main contribution, among others, was also that he committed CEMS to the thought of social responsible leadership, among others, by producing together with other CEMS deans a joint book on business schools and their contribution to society. He also brought CEMS further through the globalization. After discussing for 10 years about globalization under his chairmanship, the decisive decisions were taken and international members were accepted as full CEMS member universities. Thank you very much, Bernard.
My very dear friends, thank you very much, Thomas, for your words and for this invitation. Thank you very much, Eugenia, and my friends from SAD for welcoming us here. In a few words, first I would like to say thank you and congratulations to the students and the alumni of CEMS. You are the future of the world. Through you, through the students, through the alumni, I think that we can be quite optimistic, very optimistic about globalization. Globalization is a challenge, but when I'm meeting students and alumni from CEMS, I think that globalization is an opportunity. Of course, globalization is not an easy move, but thanks to men and women graduate from CEMS, I think that we can be very, very optimistic. You are the future of the world, as I said, and I would like to congratulate you and to thank you very much for what you've already been doing and what you're going to do for the next coming years. Second, thank you and congratulations to all of you, my colleagues, faculty members, staff members of CEMS. As Thomas was saying, I had the privilege, the honor, and sometimes the pleasure to be the chairman of CEMS. I learned a lot of things. And for that, I would like to thank you and to congratulate you very much. I discovered that friendship is not a fad. Among CEMS, and frankly speaking, sincerely speaking, it's the only organization, it's the only network where I found this spirit and this importance of friendship. I was just saying it's not a fad. Trust me, friendship doesn't mean just, how to say that, it's not just something very vague and just a common word that we use when we don't know what to say. Trust me, friendship is the common spirit of CEMS. And when you're chairing an executive committee or the executive board or the strategic board of CEMS, you clearly understand that because of friendship, people do not agree just for your pleasure. It's very, very interesting to have this experience. And for that experience, which is always, with the end is always a success, for this experience, I would like to thank you very much. Last but not least, of course, I would like to thank and to congratulate the 4 founders and Nicole. My God, they dare. And that's marvelous. And they dare in all the dimensions. They had a vision, as several of my predecessors have said, but they dare to build up a common project with a vision, with a strategic objective, and with this kind of common culture, common identity. Thank you very much for that. I know better 2 of them, Louis and of course Jean-Paul. For that also, thank you very much. Louis has always been near CEMS, and when I was the chairman of CEMS, Louis did not hesitate to give me a phone call just to give me some advices. And they were very, very wise, and in the same time, very, very pushy. And Jean-Paul. By the time CEMS was created 25 years ago, he was the dean of HEC. In other words, I know that in academic world there is no boss, but he was my boss. I was a young professor, and he has this vision. And I must say that Nicole was saying that in a very cautious way. But when Jean-Paul had this idea of building up CEMS, he had some question in the General Assembly of the faculty, but I'm sure that was not the most difficult part. He has a lot of difficulty with his boss. And Jean-Paul didn't care. He called that academic freedom. That's marvelous. It's one of the most marvelous lessons that he could have given to me by that time. Thank you to all of you for, once again, these lessons. So I'm going to stop there, these few words. Once again, thank you very, very, very much for what you have offered me to share with all of you. Thank you very much.
Now I would like to call on stage Philippe Louvet. Philippe engaged L'Oréal in CEMS in 1996. He soon took additional responsibilities in the CEMS community, for example, as Vice President Corporate Affairs. He played a major role in all governance reforms since the year 2002, and he served as Vice President under the chairmanship of Paul Verhagen. He was always involved in governance reforms, and I think he was always also involved in the selection of the CEMS chairman. In addition, he contributed much to the content development of CEMS, for example, by the first CEMS Pan-European case study, which won even an EFMD prize, and financing the first CEMS research project. Philippe, thank you very much for your contribution.
Dear Thomas, dear founders, dear board members, dear friends of our CEMS community, I am deeply honored today by this recognition. It is difficult to imagine when I first met CEMS for L'Oréal 20 years ago that such a honor would come my way. L'Oréal, deeply rooted in Europe, became global within a very short period of time. And the business model of L'Oréal did fit very well with CEMS. And after a long and sustainable partnership, results are there for all to see. An average of 10 CEMS are joining us every year, and few CEMS are now emerging in key senior executive positions. This is an answer to Professor Hauser. By chance, but chance rarely comes by chance. Nicole, Louis, Werner were behind my enrollment in this engagement, which became more and more personal over the years. It has been a perfect match for me. From a very early age, I believed in the strategic role of education. I do believe personally, education is probably the best solution for human progress and to prevent human conflict. And CEMS, with its European DNA and its new global dimension, is a unique place for 1,000 of students every year to experiment and to develop an outstanding competence. That competence, we could call it how to live together with our differences. It has been, and it continues to be, a great privilege for me to be a part and to contribute to this global alliance. So I turn to you all CEMS community, to convey a warm thank you. You have given me a lot. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Philippe. Now we are at the end of this ceremony. We look forward to the next 25 years. Thank you to all of you for what you are doing during the next 25 years for CEMS. Long live CEMS. Thank you very much. Now I would like to call on stage Vieteke Dupin for the 20 years anniversary of the CEMS alumni organization.
Dear ladies and gentlemen of the General Assembly, CEMS head office members, corporate partners, school representatives, alumni and students. What a fantastic history and such a visionary leadership. What a privilege to have been a student from the CEMS Global Alliance in Management Education and currently to be the Executive Director of the CEMS Alumni Association. Today is a commemorable moment for us as well. 20 years ago, the CEMS Alumni Association was founded. This weekend, 6 of our 9 presidents are joining our anniversary celebrations. This contribution only indicates the importance of this moment and is a great sign of the strength of our network, which I think is very promising for us, looking forward to build an even stronger network. We are especially honored to have with us today Dr. Andrea Castronovo, founding and first president of the CEMS Alumni Association. Andrea Castronovo was one of the first graduates of the CEMS Global Alliance in Management Education back in 1990, studying at Bocconi and HEC Paris during his Masters in International Management of CEMS. Before joining BMW Group, where he is currently the president for Central and Eastern Europe, Andrea served at many other high-class car manufacturing companies, such as Ferrari, Maserati, and Renault. In a recent interview in the Financial Times, Andrea said that one of the most important things he gained from CEMS was intercultural awareness and the ability to work with people from different backgrounds. We're extremely delighted that Andrea could join for this celebration. And actually our 2 anniversaries, 25 years of the CEMS and 20 years of the CEMS Alumni Association. Who can tell better about the history of our institution as an alumni association than he can? I would like to welcome on stage Dr. Andrea Castronovo and give him a great applause.
Hallo zusammen. Guillaume, merci. Carole, dziękuję. That's Europe as well. Guess what? I will not talk about the past. For once. Now, everybody has thanks everybody. I will not go through that, but I think it is important we are all here today and tomorrow to celebrate. To celebrate the 25 years of CEMS, the 20 years of the CEMS Alumni Association, and as well, the new graduates. Now for the old-timers like me and somebody else in the room, we'll talk about the past afterwards during dinner or maybe tomorrow. But I still hope, and seeing the faces of some of them, that they feel more or less like I do, that is still 25 years old but with 20 years of experience. Now, I would like to concentrate a bit more on those of you young graduates or to-be graduates that will have to celebrate. And it's an important celebration. You and your family should be very proud of what you've all achieved in having this certificate of excellence recognized worldwide. But I have to ask you a question. Tomorrow, what? What about tomorrow? We have achieved this, and then what? Now, the real question is, what will be your engine of motivation for the future, for your future? Will it be money? Well, we've been taught at school that is quite important, isn't it? Will it be power? Will it be striving for excellence? Answers to these questions were not in the books, were they? But CEMS has shown us one way. And the way where different people, different culture, different schools, different continents, different languages share the same value and join together, they can create something big. And I'm glad even the youngsters appreciate. And this something very big started from a dream. When I was a young graduate, Luis Pugest, and I'm very glad to see here tonight, told us, all you've done is fine, but don't forget to dream. And this is what I would like to tell you here tonight again, don't forget to dream. Because this is what the CEMS, the Alumni Association, and the corporate partners here tonight, it's all about. A group of people that share a solid, a strong experience during the studies, during their life. A group of people that share the same values. A group of people that dare to fight for its own dreams. So, now guys, young students here, now it's your turn to drive it forward for the next 25 years. Thanks to all of you. Have a good night. Bye-bye.
I now want to address the word to our dear president, Guillaume Clossa. Guillaume Clossa graduated as a CEMS in 1996. Coming from HEC and doing a CEMS at LSE, Guillaume is considered as one of the most influential opinion makers of his generation in Europe. Former McDonald's Vice President for Southern Europe, he is now one of the directors of the European Broadcasting Union. Committed on the citizen area, he chairs Europanova, European think tank, that he launched 10 years ago with the Italian Premier Enrico Letta and the 40 Under 40 European Young Leaders Program he launched with Dani Cohn-Bendit. Guillaume also served the public service as special advisor to the French presidency of the European Union and shepherd to the European Council Reflection Group on the Future of Europe, chaired by former Spanish Premier Felipe González. Former France LC chair, he was elected at the beginning of the year as CEMS Alumni Association president. Guillaume, can I ask you forward?
Well, I have nothing more to say. Except that we also have honorary members. And the first honorary member of the CEMS alumni, this is a new tradition we launched tonight also, is our first president. But you can come back if you want. Andrea Castronovo.
Merci beaucoup. C'est un plaisir et on va mettre un bocal. Merci.
But we had president after Andrea, of course. And they contributed to the CEMS alumni story, which is the story of our family. And the second one is a lady. She had a long career within Arthur Andersen Consulting, which became Action Tours. And now she is VP of, sorry, where is it? Genpact. Genpact. Yes. Okay, thank you very much. Which is a spin-off of General Electric. Please, Viviane, come. Viviane is also VP of the CEMS alumni, so she contributes always to our family. Viviane.
Thank you.
say something or not? Okay. Well, you can obviously see and notice that Guillaume is a very busy man, that he had to check up upon a couple of things. I, of course, also would like to thank everyone, and especially, I mean, over the last few years, I've also been thinking a lot about CEMS. It was an incredibly honor, but also challenge to be the successor of Andrea. I remember the first few years driving up and down to Paris every month to be there with the team. Collected a lot of speeding tickets in Belgium, by the way. But I learned a lot there. And I think for me, one of the most important things about CEMS is, and we had all the thank yous and all the good things, but there were a couple of people who touched upon that. That was the CEMS spirit. And CEMS for me always keeps surprising me. First time I was elected as the president, it was quite a surprise, to be honest. And last year, Nicole called me and she asked me if I would be interested to step into the CEMS Alumni Association again. And first I thought, oh my God, should I really do that? But I think in the end, the CEMS spirit, and I think that's why all of you are here, and especially the students, of course, and those who are going to graduate tomorrow, that's what you should keep alive. The CEMS spirit, it's unbelievable. Thank you very much. Hope you enjoy the evening and tomorrow, of course, and I hope to be here in 25 years again as well. Thank you.
Before going on, I wanted once again to thank Nicole de Fontaine, because Nicole, where is she? Because Nicole was for us, when we were young CEMS, the first person we knew. And she was a symbol of CEMS, and she was the mindset of CEMS. So on behalf of all alumnus for the last 25 years, thank you very much, Nicole. So we go on. Another president of the CEMS alumni is also a lady, so we are very for equality in the CEMS alumni. And it was Elke Tam, who, Elke? Elke is always very committed to the CEMS because you are part of the board of the CEMS. You are, I would say, very loyal to your company because you, how are you?
Wonderful.
Wonderful. You are head of human resource of a company in which you have worked for very long, Wolseley. And you were an inspiring president.
Oh, thank you. Well, I don't think I need to talk then, do I?
So, I think that's yours.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I'll promise to keep it short. I don't know if this is a CEMS tradition, but it always seems that the alumni are in between you and the drinks.
It is.
So we'll make sure we go quick. As Andrea said, I think many people have been thanked. I reflected back to my time as a CEMS president, and actually, funny enough, you know, I invited Andrea, you gave a key speech for us at the cocktail, so we'll move into that in a minute. I think generally, you know, CEMS, it has been referred to, what really matters, I guess, is the CEMS spirit. Looking back at the time 2006 to 2008, some of the things that we had as our achievements were actually the globalization. Igor, he was honored today. He was the first one with whom we talked about having the first alumni committee outside of Europe. So those were the days, I guess. Now it is very normal for CEMS to be a global organization, an association with 29 global member schools. And the other thing is I've asked my team, David, André, Lukas, and also Robert, who were with me on the executive committee. And in preparation for that, one of the things I asked them to say, what were some of the achievements that you want me to mention? And I'm sure Robert will agree, they said, just make sure that you tell them we were the best looking committee of the Alumni Association. So I will, on behalf of them, I'll mention it. I think in true spirit, you mentioned I'm in HR. One of the things that's important, I'm in talent management, succession planning. So one of the things that obviously was important was one of the members of my team, we looked at succession as well, and I know he's up next, and I know he likes to talk, so I will be very brief. And before we invite Robert up, particular thanks from me go to my EC team, also because I promised to mention her, to Audrey Clegg, who has been mentioned several times today already, who actually I met at my graduation, who was a corporate partner, a corporate partner at the time, and who offered me a job. So CEMS for me all around. Generally within my CEMS experience, I think I made some of the best friends that I have, coming back to the CEMS spirit, and whose relationships and friendships I still treasure. And then also a big thank you and congratulations to all the students we have. I think it is amazing to see your continued spirit, and I thank you all. Please continue to challenge us. We had several conversations in the executive board today of problems that we saw and thought we need to address. But then Carol came up and basically told us the students have already analyzed it and have a solution. So please keep challenging us.